Welcome back to the Truth Factory. So the Republicans and the Democrats couldn't come to an agreement on immigration reform. Even though Trump had repeatedly said and had even tweeted that he won't negotiate on any deal with DACA that doesn't include a wall, an end to teen migration, and an end to the lottery system, the Democrats and all of Congress still overwhelmingly voted to protect illegal immigrants in favor of cutting funding to the military and other services without budging. But don't be fooled into thinking that the Democrats' motives are anything other than self-serving here. This is just a game, and they don't actually care about the dreamers, they just care about the votes. This was made abundantly clear in a leaked memo from January 9th, written by Jennifer Palmieri, the former director of communications for Hillary Clinton's campaign, where she writes, "Dreamers are a critical component of the Democratic Party's future electoral success." Now, this whole debacle led to a complete government shutdown for 3 days. But this shouldn't be surprising because this transparently evil man named Chuck Schumer already declared this destructive strategy in a 2013 interview.
Someone goes into your house, takes your wife and children hostage, and then says, let's negotiate over the price of your house. You know, we could do the same thing on immigration. We believe strongly in immigration reform. We could say we're shutting down the government. We're not going to raise the debt ceiling until you pass immigration reform. It would be governmental chaos.
So the Democrats had a full-out orchestrated tantrum because they hate America and they didn't get their way. And even though 95% of Republicans were in favor for keeping the government operational versus only 5% of Democrats, the media tried to spin this hard to blame Trump somehow. This 3-day shutdown, according to CNN, led to the apocalypse. Perhaps even worse than the apocalypse that happened when net neutrality was repealed. And at this very emotional and trying time, Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon, and this man had become the only beacons of light left in this dim, dark, shadowy world. Of course, they're only telling the truth, and they're not using fear-mongering propaganda tactics to push out clickbait headlines like, "Trump may have signed Earth's death warrant," "Government shutdown risks an undetected asteroid strike," and of course the always accurate and reliable tabloid Newsweek reports Trump could destroy the entire human species. The mental gymnastics of this narrative is actually quite fascinating, and I suppose maybe in some extremely convoluted way they're trying to say that without the government being open, there would be no one to notice if an asteroid was coming towards Earth. But the fact that these so-called credible news sources are trying to convince the public that there is a probable chance of an asteroid ending all life on Earth because the United States couldn't figure out a budget deal is like, what? Just hypothetically, let's say that the government wasn't shut down and they did notice an asteroid coming towards Earth. What the hell are they going to do about a giant space rock moving 100,000 miles an hour? Does CNN think that we'd be able to pull off the plot from Armageddon? No, we'd be much better off just letting China take this one anyway because they probably have Gundam robots. And that's better than trying to get Ben Affleck to do anything because he can't even do Batman right. And thanks to CNN, a bunch of old people were probably pressing their life alert buttons because they think somehow a nuclear asteroid is coming towards Earth because of Trump.
I'm having chest pain!
Anyone who doesn't eat Tide Pods for breakfast should be able to see through this panic-inducing propaganda that has been pushed out by these CIA shills. This, of course, was done as a huge distraction from the real story that they don't want to talk about. The memo, which has major BuzzFeed-esque clickbait potential. The government shutdown made the Democrats look really bad, but is not near as bad as the truth that this memo could reveal. And I can only imagine that it says exactly what I've been saying for months, that the Obama administration illegally obtained FISA warrants to spy on people. And if we're really lucky, it says that the DNC colluded with Fusion GPS to get the fake Steele dossier, and that the DNS records that connected Trump Tower to the Russian Alfa Bank were forged under the advisement of Obama to illegally obtain a FISA warrant to spy on Trump. Because if that's the case, that could end the Russia investigation now, and we could be talking about the destruction of the DNC. But the excuse from Democratic Rep. Adam Schiff of why the memo shouldn't be released is because Americans wouldn't be able to understand it. Is this memo about quantum entanglement written by Stephen Hawking? Because if not, Schiff is acting like a patronizing, pompous ass here.
Russian bots, because Russian bots are pushing their narrative out there. It's in a redux of the campaign. We have Julian Assange and WikiLeaks and Russian trolls and bots saying, hashtag whatever the GOP narrative is.
And even if the memo is complex, he's greatly underestimating the modern internet community and our collective weaponized autism. As of now, the government shutdown has ended without any real resolution, as 28 Democrat senators changed their votes and decided to reopen the government for a few weeks. Even though we don't know exactly what Rhino Mitch McConnell promised the Democrats, they've bent a knee and ended their shutdown for practically nothing. I mean, the Democrats look incredibly bad to the average American right now, but I guess maybe they have a plan that we just couldn't possibly understand. But as far as I see it, Trump has them bent over a barrel, and Schumer can now join the hashtag #MeToo movement because he just got wrecked. And that's all I wanted to say. If you like what I do, I have links in the description to my PayPal, my Patreon, my Maker support, and my Bitcoin wallet. Thank you so much. Thanks for your support, and have a great night.
Thank you for calling the White House. Unfortunately, we cannot answer your call today because congressional Democrats are holding government funding, including funding for our troops and other national security priorities, hostage to an unrelated immigration debate.
I'm having chest pain.